Good day and God bless. Welcome to And It Came to Pass. I am Dana. Well, today we're going to read through Matthew chapter 11. But before we get there, I just want to go over a couple of things really quickly. On my last post, I had somebody pose a question. Is this D-Train's new channel? Well, to answer your question, it's not new, and yes, I am the D-Train. That is my truther channel. I've been doing that for a few years now. And honestly, this scripture I'm about to show you is the reason why you don't see me making that many videos over there anymore, because my focus is mostly over here. The first one that brought me to that is this. Matthew chapter 6, verses 22 and 23. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? Being a truther, I can tell you, is emotionally draining, especially when you cover a lot of topics about, what's going on in the world, where it's heading, and who is seemingly in charge of these things. We live in a very disgusting and sick and perverted world, and the people seemingly running the show are the worst of the worst. Now, when it comes to the readings that I do from the Bible, I'm not talking about where I'm sitting in my car or when I do a specific video on, say, tribulation. When I do these readings, the reason I'm doing it the way I'm doing it is because of the next verses that I'm going to read to you. But before I get there, let me reiterate something. I am not a scholar. I'm not a preacher. I didn't go to Bible college. I'm none of those things. I'm just a guy who's working through his sins and reading and studying the book to try and better myself, because I want to get into heaven and I fear Judgment Day. Now, having said that, all of the inexperience I have, I'll fill you in on a little bit of the experience that I do have. In about 2019 is when I really started reading the book, and I made it all the way through with the NIV. And then I jumped into the KJV for various reasons, and I was able to understand it. And for the last 2+ years, I have studied so hard. I was part of numerous Bible studies in person. I did the church thing for a while. I attended a couple of alpha courses. I ran an alpha course myself. I took a couple of courses through the Billy Graham Institute. And for over 2 years, every single day, I watched at least one Bible study from Kent Hovind. Now, before you get all up in arms about Billy Graham or Kent Hovind, understand, I took those to gain the knowledge. Do I believe everything those people teach? Absolutely not, because they do stray from the Bible. And the verses I'm going to read to you next, those people should be scared. So, in Revelation 22, verses 18 and 19, For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from those things which are written in this book. That is not a fate I want to have bestowed upon me. A lot of these preachers that are out there telling you to believe this way or believe that way, or do the works, or whatever it is they're preaching, they need to be absolutely certain that what they're preaching is actually in that book, or they're going to face what I just read to you. Based on that, and the lack of knowledge that I have, and the fact that I'm still learning along with you, I'm not willing to add to the book or take away from it. And if I catch myself using words like Trinity, or I can't think of another one off the top of my head, that aren't actually in the book that I need to stop and correct myself, because that word is not in the Bible. Godhead's there, Trinity's not. These are little things, and I don't want to lead anybody down the wrong path. I pray on that a lot. I seriously do not want to lead anybody down the wrong path. So the way I'm doing it is I'm bringing you what's actually written, giving you the verse references to what we just read, if they're applicable, and then you can take it from there. You need to study it more, just like I do. I do study, but I'm not willing to share anything, anywhere that I'm at in these readings, because I just want them to be strictly what is written, and then study it from there, okay? Are we cool with that? Let's get started. Matthew chapter 11. And it came to pass, when Jesus had made an end of commanding his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and to preach in their cities. Now when John had heard in the prison the works of Christ, he sent 2 of his disciples, and said unto him, Art thou he that should come, or do we look for another? Jesus answered and said unto them, Go and show John again those things which ye do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he, whosoever shall not be offended in me. And as they departed, Jesus began to say unto the multitudes concerning John, What ye went out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken in the wind? But what ye went out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in kings' houses. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yea, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. For this is he, of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is the least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until now the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violence take it by force. For all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. And if ye will receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets, and calling unto their fellows, and saying, We have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. For John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say, He hath a devil. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, Behold, a gluttonous man, and a winebibber, a friend of publicans and sinners. But wisdom is justified of her children. Then began he to upbraid the cities wherein most of his mighty works were done, because they repented not. Woe unto thee, Chorazin! Woe unto thee, Bethsaida! For if the mighty works which were done in you had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would have repented long ago in sackcloth and ashes. But I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon at the day of judgment than for you. And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven, shall be brought down to hell. For if the mighty works which have been done in thee had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. But I say unto you, that it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for thee. At that time Jesus answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. Even so, Father, for it seemed good in thy sight. All things are delivered unto me of my Father. No man knoweth the Son but the Father, neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son, and he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Now let's go have a look at the verse references. Matthew chapter 11, verse 5 is in reference to Isaiah chapter 35, verse 5. Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. And Isaiah chapter 29, verse 18. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. Matthew chapter 11, verse 10 is in reference to Malachi chapter 3, verse 1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. And Isaiah chapter 40, verse 3. The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, Prepare ye the way of the Lord, make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Matthew chapter 11, verse 14 is in reference to Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. So there you have Matthew chapter 11. As always, I would strongly recommend that you read it again, pray to God, ask for wisdom, knowledge, and discernment. And until next time, have a great day, and God bless.